Hello everybody and welcome to a first episode of Rocksteady militaria, relics uncovered and told. We're gonna make a couple of episodes from pieces from our collection or relics that we found, and we will share the story of the piece with you. Also, we're gonna do a small introduction about us, Rocksteady militaria, as we're pretty new with our content here on YouTube, and we got a lot planned ahead. As said, relics, we have a couple of very fine examples here. This is from a V1 rocket that we came across from friends of Rocksteady. Thankfully we know a lot of good people in the world. That's how we get our stuff. We get these questions a lot. How do you find that stuff? Well, it's very simple. Meet people, talk, and don't hesitate when you see an item. Grab it if you like it. And that way you will never regret missing on an item. And as you see all the gear here, we're gonna start a series on cleaning relic helmets and how to preserve them. While we were working with relic helmets ourselves for the last couple of years, we did a lot of reading, a lot of finding out, and we noticed that there are a lot of different methods that can be used. And all pretty much depends on the item that you got. We had the 200 helmets in from Berlin, a very big project, a lot of work, totally dove into it, but we still came across some problems with the helmets, things we did not like, materials that were hard to use. So we got a lot of tips from our followers, thank you for that. So we decided we're gonna make a whole series purely based on relic helmets, preservation and cleaning. Not the restoration, I think that's another part where they totally refurbish the helmet. We've seen a lot of examples from that, and I can tell you some guys are really artists nowadays. You hardly see the difference between an original one or a fake helmet. That quality has gone up with the years massively. People are even faking relic helmets. So it definitely can be a minefield, and we hope that we can help you a little bit with that, especially on the rust part, because at Rocksteady militaria we say in rust we trust. We even have our t-shirts printed for that. So yeah, a lot of materials as you can see here. This is all for the new series on the relic cleaning and preservation. Where to start? Well, most common one I guess. You all heard about it. Renaissance wax. We're gonna tell you how to apply it, good ways to apply it. Already a small secret. There are cheaper options than Renaissance wax, because Renaissance wax simply is microcrystalline wax. They lost their patent over the years, and now you can buy exactly the same stuff for half the price. Maybe in the future we will be able to offer you that in our web shop, so you don't get stung by a lot of money, because why go expensive if you can get the same stuff for cheap? So yeah, the Renaissance wax. Oh, we got many different things, and I can tell you, not all of them are good. There are a lot of materials that we see people are using, which you should never do on a relic helmet. Very fine example is linseed oil. That's in English, lijnolie in Dutch for the people. We see many people use this, even on YouTube videos. They find very nice fallen ski helmets. First thing they do, put the linseed oil on. Please, guys, if you just read it, it reads for wooden materials. Would it be for steel helmets? Nope, it's not. And if you do a little bit of reading on scientific sites, you don't have to Google far. You will already see that some materials you should never use on relic helmets, especially linseed oil. Why? The stuff never dries. Your helmet always stays wet, it gets dirty, don't do it. It's an easy way to make it look good for a couple of weeks. After that, it's gonna look terrible. So anyone who says, yeah, linseed oil is the thing, really, drop their information. It's totally rubbish. It's bad. But we're gonna use it anyway, so we can show you the results and the differences between results. Another funny one is clear varnish. Very easy solution to close everything down, right? And make it stop rusting. But what you get is a helmet which is totally shiny and it can still rust underneath. It's just another very cheap solution, but a very bad one. We're also gonna use it. Clear varnish. Ugh, terrible. Then we have Paraloid B72. It's actually kind of like a liquid version of the Renaissance wax. A lot more expensive. But we're really looking forward to using this one. Because it's very easily to apply. And the result, also long term, to keep your relic in good condition, apparently is really good. A candle, you think? Damn right, we're gonna use candles. Because candles contain paraffin. Paraffin is the natural version of the Renaissance wax. Very easy to apply. It keeps the helmet perfect forever. If it gets damaged, you can easily repair it. We're a big fan of using paraffin on our helmets. A lot of the helmets we got from Berlin, we did with paraffin. But yeah, the helmets do turn out a little bit darker. So the color gets a bit darker. And if you have a nice camo helmet or something, we were not keen on putting it on it because of the color difference. But we got some tips from fellow followers and relic cleaning guys. There are still some tricks to make the paraffin come out nicer. So we're gonna try it. This whole project is a do and learn project. We're probably gonna do a lot of things wrong, but that's no problem. We are gonna use them on some old helmets that I still had. I don't want to use the 200 Berlin helmets for them because their condition is just too nice. We have a lot of old relic helmets. I'll show you an example. Here is an example. The helmet is, as you can see, it has some damages. We prefer to test on helmets like this, not good solid shells, which might have a lot of paint on it. So we're gonna use some old shells, not the Berlin ones. And then we will have some results, and we'll try to grade it in the end with what is the best solution, the easiest, the cheapest money-wise. Also, which solution can you do at home? I've got a nice studio here. We got the workshop in the back, so I've got all space. No mother or wife who complains. My wife is totally down with all this, so I've got easy talking. But if you're still somewhere in a clean house with the wife and she doesn't like you to make a mess, you don't want to use certain solutions because of the smell, things get dirty, etc. So yeah, we hope you're gonna enjoy all episodes we're gonna make on them. It will be a lot of them. Also, if you got tips for materials to use on how to remove rust from the helmets, or how to preserve helmets in a good way, or how to better use certain items that we have on the shelf here, please drop it down in the comments. Together we have a lot more information to get this working out, to have the first episode hopefully in a couple of weeks online. We have to prepare a lot of things for it. The workshop is still a big mess. We have to clean it up for you. A lot of materials to buy. So stay tuned and thanks a lot. For now, I'm gonna show you some of the pieces we found this week. We had a large militaria fair in the Netherlands, Houten, where a lot of friends from Rocksteady came. So we were able to find some very cool items for you. Some of them are displayed here. Quickly gonna go through the basic ones. The V1s, I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about it, especially the item that we have here. So yeah, let's go. Well, if you can see it, I came across this one, very happy with it. It's a rusty piece, that's for sure. But it's a World War I piece for barbed wire to connect it. It's a short version, we never saw it before. We saw two laying there, like okay, I'm gonna snatch it. One for the collection, one will be available in the web shop. Size will be good enough to ship, so you can see it pop up on the website. Then we still here have a little radio transmitter. It's in very nice condition. It has all the Waffenamt markings on it. And I'm gonna go a little bit closer for you on this one. Here we have some Hitlerjugend knives. They're in okay condition. We got some of the Mother Cross medals. They were awarded, yeah, it sounds pretty dodgy, but these were given to mothers who gave birth to a certain amount of children. This was, of course, to promote giving birth to children, so that, yeah, you would have a lot of new soldiers and children for the future. They were awarded in bronze, silver, gold. There are a couple of more rare versions from it, etc., etc. So these are pretty basic medals, same as this one. It's a 40 years loyal service medal. It's a cool piece. The gold, it's not real gold, but yeah, these were civilian awards actually. So I don't know, if you were working at the post office for 40 years, you had the chance of receiving a beautiful medal. And we have this little small badge. It's a Rijkspartijtak badge. We're super fan of these. Not long ago we went to Nuremberg. So we saw all the buildings where this happened. It's a very cute small badge. But these are very nice collectibles to get the series complete. They don't have such a high price. Here's some small World War I buttons. Small Kriegsverdienste medal. That's all small stuff. And here we got some cool rings we came across. We're always a fan of these. And let's see if we can get it right on the camera. So yeah, we have one here. There's written on it Saloniki. And as I'm a fan of going to Greece, I recognize it straight ahead. Athens 1943. They have their silver markings on it, which is really nice. We have some silver rings here. And well, this one, Norway in 1940. So yeah, 3 very fine rings we're happy to have in, and they will be available in the web shop. But enough with the shiny items. Let's go to the relics. These are the V1 relics we came across. We got a lot of questions from our customers about these. Here we are. So yeah, this is actually a part of the engine system, which is on the back. Here shows a photo of it. Very recognizable, especially this part here. It's all from the V1 rockets. This is a part of outside plating. We still have to pinpoint that location. Then we have these little buggers. See if I can show you it in a good way. These are all tangled up, but that's because they have been put together by a wire. These were all actually single ones with a small loophole, as you can see. These were apparently used to fixate the rocket on the ramp, or the launching rocket on the ramp. And when it got fired off, these would break and it would come loose. So these were only used one time and then they got discarded. We had 3, yeah, they're all tangled up. So yeah, for now, first episode of Relics Uncovered and Story Told. Thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned for our new series coming very soon about relic cleaning and preservation. Hopefully you will learn from it, and hopefully we'll have some very nice results on the 200 German helmets I have back in my workshop. I still have about 140 pieces to clean. It's always a mystery what will come out of it. You never know. Right now they're looking really rusty, but there can be some cool camos in there. Luftwaffe helmets, hopefully a very nice SS helmet, although they're really rare to find. Well, as said, I'm going to show you a bit of my collection that I gathered over the years. Tell you a little bit about myself, so you know who you're dealing with in the next episodes. Relic cleaning, helmets cleaning, all that stuff. As you can see, right now I'm standing in my helmets room. It's, to be honest, the best room I ever had. First thing I did when I got this new place was do the helmet room. So yeah, this is where I store all the helmets. Many of these are for sale actually. You can find them in the shop. Up here we got some of the helmets from the Berlin find. These ones have been cleaned and preserved already. As you can see, they got the number on it. Did these with paraffin, a really good solution. And wow, we got a lot of helmets, Russian ones too. Here's a nice winter camouflage helmet. Totally relic, but that's how we like our stuff. We like it rusty. It's the been there, done that look, you know. Well, some of our bigger stuff. Here we have some wheels from a pack gun. 2 sets actually. Wheels from Fallschirmjäger drop containers. These are wheels from BF 109. Multiple aircrafts actually, they were used. Some more here. A horse saddle. German practice bomb. This is just full of concrete. There's nothing in it. And as you can see here, you can open it. Back in here, there used to be like capsules with a chemical. So if the practice bomb hit the target, the glass would break, smoke would come out, so that the pilot or whoever checked on him could see if he dropped it correctly. This one is actually legal to own. That's why I have it, because in the Netherlands, guns ordnance, it's pretty much all forbidden, so we're not gonna burn our hands on that stuff. Some more aircraft parts. Some pieces you already saw in some other videos from us. The battle damage. Door from a Junkers 52. And well, this is just one room. I'm blessed with my collection, I must say. I think I started really collecting heavily about 8 years ago now. Pretty much at the same time. Started with Rocksteady militaria. Must say that I've been always interested since I was a little kid in collecting. But you know, puberty hits, you get different priorities. I had a lot of fun, but in these years I did not collect. So if it's a good thing or not, well, life is what it is. So yeah, let's go upstairs because there's a lot more to see. You see a weird pipe hanging here. Whoa, I just bounced my head. This one is actually from the submarine engine we used to have. Unfortunately, we don't have it anymore. And right here you see a sign that you will probably know from eBay or whatever. These are being sold as German signs. But it's not at all. Here, look at it. It's a Polish sign. It's modern.
Bubr kurwa! Ja pierdolę jakie bydle!
Don't pay more than 15 bucks on these, because you have to bend over. So yeah, now we really come into the shop part. As you can see, we got the Rocksteady colors everywhere, the black and white. If you are wondering where it comes from, it indeed comes from the ska reggae music. Bands like the Specials, the Selector, all from the UK. We totally dig that stuff. Anti-racist, I have to add that one. And if you don't know these guys, you should really check it out. It's from the series Hello Hello. It's a lovely series which comes from the UK about some people in France, and it's just a lot of fun. I think nowadays if they put out this series, it will not be allowed because everything will be too woke. And well, this is Helga, my wet dream when I was young. So yeah, here's some more pieces from the shop. Old cool wooden table this is. United States of America. This was actually handmade by an American soldier who was based in Britain. It's a modern piece, but we liked it. He could not bring it home with him, so it found a really nice place here. There's another piece of skin. Here, well, some of the artwork that my girl makes. I'm blessed to have a woman like that who's also interested in World War II like me. Hard to see here, but some of the better condition helmets we've stored up here, so no dust can come on. Here's some more of our cabinets. Most of this is American, what we have here, Medic. We mostly do German, but theoretically, you know, if we can find cool stuff, if it's American, German, Russian, Soviet, other countries, we bring it along. My interest is very wide, and from the customers I have also. So if it's a cool piece, we'll bring it along. But our main knowledge is German. And as they say, shoemakers, stick to your post. So we stick to our knowledge. If you don't have knowledge on an item, don't buy it, because you will burn yourself, you will lose money, it's not worth it. I've burned myself a lot of times too, sometimes still do. The amount of items that there are around is simply enormous, and the amount of fakes and fantasies is probably even more than there are original pieces around. So you should really be careful. You know, buy from trusted people, trusted dealers. I am one of those. Not to shove a feather up my bottoms, but I like to keep it honest. I don't like shady deals. If it's crap, it's crap. If it's good, it's good, and I will tell you. And if a delivery goes wrong, you never will be empty-handed. We'll sort it out. So yeah, a bit of the shop. Casings, tracks, B17 we have here. A lot of paperwork, always hard to store. Photographs, little booklets, weerpasses, arbeidsboeks, We have a very wide variety in the shop. So some books with knowledge. Good read is always fine. You can find a lot of information about helmets, medals, the whole lot. Always wise to listen to people with a bit more experience. Although I must add, they're definitely not always right. If somebody tells you, I'm collecting for 60 years, take it with a grain of salt. Because if you collect for 60 years, it doesn't mean you have a lot of knowledge. Internet is pretty young. Back then in the days, people had no internet, nothing. They just assumed something was good and bought it. But unfortunately, you can't assume a lot. Because, there goes the light. Fortunately, there are a lot of bad people who want to take advantage of your hard-earned money. And we try to avoid that. So yeah, another look at the helmet room. You're gonna see it a lot more because we will be making up our studio here. Also in the workshop. I'm not gonna show you that yet because it still needs a lot of work. Most likely cleaning up so it looks a bit better for you guys. So yeah, the B70 part, as you saw, it was in our video already, one of our videos. In the future we'll probably highlight some pieces that we have more. Skin from the B17, pieces of parachute found on different locations. And I'll show you this one here. This is, I guess, one of our prime pieces that we have. It's a part of a wing from a Junkers 52 aircraft. And this one goes with it actually. It's not from the same aircraft, but this is actually the last part of the Junkers tail, to sort of say it like. And back there we have a piece of plating. Aircraft unknown, but the location, it comes from Crete. And as I like tzatziki, if it comes from Crete or Greece, we take it. So I'm really happy to finally have a piece. And well, the aircraft wing, I'm gonna give it a bit of power. It's gonna be pretty heavy. No, not actually, it's aluminium. But the other side is a lot better looking. Still need to find a place to store it correctly. But as you can see, it's all white here. This is actually wine paint, winter camouflage. So yes, we have, I don't know if you can see it like that. Large piece of winter camouflage wings. Some pieces you clearly can still see some battle damage. Not everything is battle damage. On the other side there are some traces from hikers. But yeah, that's the big stuff. I like collecting big stuff. But as you can see here, we also do the small stuff. This is a lot of Winterhilfe. It was a kind of a support program for the German people. Because by law it was forbidden to beg for money on the streets. Of course, after World War I, Germany came into a large crisis. Hitler said he would fix everything. Well, you know how that ended. But through this way they collected money for welfare. Most likely a lot of that also went into the war industry. But the aim was good and they made a very large variety of it. It's really funny. You see here these small plastic pieces. I'm saying plastic, but this is kind of like kunststof. Because plastic was only invented in its current form after World War II. But these were kind of like the predecessors to plastic. Here a lot of porcelain pieces. All hand painted. The ladies love this stuff, like the flowers. Well, here you can see all of the Celtic symbols. Hitler really liked that. He kind of stole it to use it to portray his people as the perfect people from the world. Yeah, Germans can buy nice cars, but people from other countries are nice too. So yeah, it's a wide variety of items from the Winterhilfe, we call it. Same here, like all the battle flags, highly collectible pieces. These are all complete collections that we have up here on the wall. On the other side, some more pieces. It's all from different cities. And also here's some, children toys. It's really cool. They thought about everybody. So women could buy it. You could hang it in the Christmas tree. These are the actual Christmas tree decorations. The ones you see out there, the balls with the big swastikas on it, things like that, it's all rubbish. There is no periodic proof of these ever existing. Some guy in America is selling it. Everybody says, yeah, it's real, blah, blah. It's bogus. A Christmas ball with a swastika was never made during World War II. Simply not. So don't go into that stuff. You pay $120 for fantasy neo-Nazi crap. And you want to avoid that. If you collect, stick to the original militaria, really. Because you'll be doing history a favor. And unfortunately, there's a lot of bad assumptions about people collecting German militaria. So we want to keep it clean, don't do the neo-Nazi shit. Keep it real. So yeah, here's some more from the Hitlerjugend. And up here you see the Christmas decorations, Winterhilfe 1934. And I'll show you the last part of my collection up here. Yeah, that's sort of like the Christmas tree still standing, but I love my greens, so but it will be gone soon because I need to make some space here. Up here we have a half-track wheel. Found myself metal detecting at the Overloon battlefield. It's a piece which I will never sell. This is from one of the gliders that dropped near Arnhem. Some cylinder tank. Up here we have a lot of tracks from the Panther, Tigris underneath, Panzer III-4, a Raupenschlepper, but this is from a brand carrier. Oh, a German winter track. This is a part from the Kubelwagen. It's really funny, the oil still drips out. Up here we have these defensive signs, you can open them and fire through it. Very lovely piece, also found by fishermen. This is the propeller hub from a Hurricane. That's a British fighter, I believe, the Hurricane. This is one from the Stuka. Shell from Tiger. Battle damage pieces in it. Up here we have an engine block from Heinkel 111 bomber. They used the same block in the Stuka. But this one definitely came from Heinkel 111 crash site. It came from Belgium somewhere. Here you see the pins for a flak cannon. This is also one different version. I think this one is from the 8.8 centimeter flak. It's in very nice condition. I believe this one was from the slightly larger version they had. What was it, 12.5 centimeters? That's a very big bad boy. This to hold it down when it would fire. As said, I started collecting when I was a young kid. Picked it up at a later age and kind of took it next level. Made my hobby part of my profession. I still have a normal job alongside of here, working in the cooling industry, machinery, etc., etc. Been a carpenter for a very long time. Traveled to Australia, got a small kid in Russia, walking around. And yeah, World War II. It grabbed me when I was young, it still does. You probably know it. If you see a bunker, you want to go in and you want to touch it. I've always had that. It never left me. And yeah, a couple of years ago, I was looking for a hobby. Bought a metal detector. went out in the woods, found some bullets, and I got hooked again and got my first medal, and it went really fast after that. Maybe my history also plays a part with it. My grandfather, there were always some weird stories about him from my grandma, which she didn't want to tell. She would say, I will tell you when you're older, when you're 18. Unfortunately, she passed away before she was able to tell me something about him. But I already kind of had a feeling. I heard some stories. Turned out my grandfather, when he was 15, 16 years old, during the war, he had to leave his house because his father wanted to kill him. He came from a very big family, 10 kids or something. Back in the days, that was really normal. His father was an alcoholic, wartime period, very rough for a lot of people. The guy went full cuckoo. And my grandfather, at the age of 15, 16 years old, decided, I'm not gonna stay here. I'll pack my bags and I'm leaving. So he left the house during wartime. And what happens often then is, especially in wartime, you're searching for food, shelter, and who do you come across? A German soldier, officer, whatever it is. They offer you food, they offer you shelter. All you need to do is sign a little paper. They will take care of you. You only have to go to training in Germany. That's it, you know, it will be a small holiday, don't worry. So a lot of these young guys signed up for multiple reasons. Either to fight communism, some indeed had a certain bad ideology, Nazism shit. My grandfather made the choice just to stay alive and sign up. No specific other reason. And well, before the guys knew it, when they finished training, they would be put on the train and sent to the East Front. And if you denied, you had big troubles because you signed a paper. And if you break your contract, okay, fine, then we'll put you to some camp and you can work there for the rest of your life and whatever, you know. So yeah, these guys, not really forced, but they had no choice. It was really a matter of survival for many people. Same for my grandfather. I tried to find many stories about it, but it always stayed kind of secretly, unfortunately. I kind of was able to track some traces with the stories that I heard. I heard that he was in the Crim. The Crim, you know, where they're currently fighting again. I mean, we're 80 years later, they're still doing the same stuff. From the Crim, you can kind of track Dutch soldiers, units, where they traveled. Many traveled from the Crim back to Austria. A large part surrendered there. Others were moved further down the front towards the Baltic states. That's where a lot of these Dutch units fought. Division Nederlanden, the Ruiter, the Narva battlefield. The Dutch did some very heavy fighting there. Possibly my grandfather was there. From Narva, they retreated in the direction of Berlin. One division got completely annihilated in the Courland pocket. It was a large piece of land which got cut down by the Soviets, and they fought there for a year. Terrible situations there for the guys. Apparently my grandfather was able to surrender himself to the Americans somewhere near Berlin. He ended up in a camp in the Netherlands for bad Dutch people, and he was spent there 1 or 2 years and he was let go. So yeah, that was the story from my grandfather, which I only found out at a later age. But after that it all made sense, because when I was a little kid and collecting, I used to go to the militaria fairs. And in the Netherlands, we always kind of talk bad about the German people because they stole our bikes. You know, they took our food. They only dig holes on the beach. So it was common to say bad words about the Germans. And I also did that as a young kid towards my grandfather. And he never got angry, but at one point he said, "Buzz, you really got to listen. Listen very carefully. Remember this. Not every German soldier is bad, and not every German soldier was a Nazi. Well, you're an 8-year-old, 9-year-old kid, your grandfather tells you that, so you believe that. Okay, check. So you take that information, you know, for the rest of your life. And then I found out he indeed fought for the Germans, and then it all made sense. He was talking about himself. So yeah, that was kind of shocking. Like, whoa, you know, he always kept his mouth, and yet he knew so much. And I wish he could have told me more, because history is interesting. I mean, why did these guys sign up? It's, you know, you cannot blame, you know, most of them for what these guys in the office did or had planned, especially back in those days. Even nowadays, there's a lot of propaganda, and people, we have all the knowledge in the world, and yet we still have the same problems as 60, 70 years ago. You know, who can you believe? What is the truth? I mean, the truth is out there. It's there to find. With common sense, you can come a long way. But imagine, 80 years ago, there was hardly television. People had no clue. They went. You had no choice. The same for the German soldiers. They were young, indoctrinated for 15, 20 years. They had no clue. They thought this is their world and this is what I must do. And later they found out. And yeah, I mean, Germany is a part in modern day Europe nowadays. And I think we all know and learned that, you know, you cannot blame the Germans for what happened. Some people, of course, right? The big names. But the common people, you know, the thin line in war between good and bad is really thin. But still, people, you know, they would talk bad. Oh, your grandfather was fighting for the Germans, so he was bad. It even made me wonder. So, got in my car, drove to France, because I got another grandma living there. And my grandfather was good friends with her. Pay her a visit. She was 83 years old. She worked in the French resistance. She had sheltered people in her house. She lived through the war. She saw all the terrible things. I thought, if there is one person that I can believe and trust, it's Marguerite from France, because she knows my grandfather from right after the war. Went to her, explained her the story, and, you know, she was very simple about it. She said, "Boss, your grandfather was a good man. And in wartime, people should survive, and he did exactly that." People from nowadays cannot judge on the actions for what people did back then. You know, you have to stand in their shoes to be able to imagine what you should do in a situation. You know, what would you do if they point a gun at your children? You know, would you be stubborn or tell the truth or work along? I mean, you don't want to find that out. And so yeah, her answer was holy for me. She said, "Boss, your father was a good man, grandfather, and that's all you need to know. Don't listen to these young people. They don't have a clue until they are there in the war." That's what we should still keep saying to ourselves nowadays, because if you look at the news, it's no good. We still have the wars going on, and they're on the same battlefields as in World War II. And there are still bad people who want to conquer other countries, and the propaganda in these countries is still really big. Not gonna name specific countries, but you know, in the direction I'm going to, you know. We live in modern times. There's no need for war. War should be in a museum, in my private museum, or a museum to visit, so we can learn that war is no good. It's fun in a collection until it hits you, and then it's no fun anymore. So yeah, that was a little bit of my story, my history, how I started collecting, and my collection. I hope you liked it. A lot more videos will come up in the future for sure. A bit more specific on certain items that I have. And as said before, I'm gonna make a whole series on relic helmets cleanings. How we're gonna work with them, clean them, preserve them, different ways. and hopefully we will find some treasures during the helmet cleaning, and we'll bring you along in the process. So for now, I'm gonna wish you a good evening, and hopefully see you soon on the next episode. Cheers, and have a good one. And don't forget to follow, like, comment, all that stuff, and check out my website. We have more than 4,000 original World War II items for sale, including the helmet you see here. So take your time. If you have any questions, don't hesitate, drop it in the comments, or you can always send us an email. And wishing you guys a lovely evening. Cheers.